recent report from Jack Curry seems to indicate the Yankees are finally making some major changes at the closer position, and we are going to break it down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because we all know one thing at this point of the season. Despite the fact that he was an all-star and that he started off the season not allowing runs at all, Clay Holmes has fallen off the cliff of all cliffs. The man cannot seem to pitch anymore. Last time he went into a game, he let off a walk-off grand slam. I was really close to making a Yankees Digest video that was just 8 minutes of me binge drinking and cursing at Clay Holmes and Aaron Boone because both of them have been terrible at their jobs. But Jack Curry seems like he's going to save me from having to do that, as recent reports have shown this. Now, Curry himself indicated that Aaron Boone said the Yankees will get creative with the closer role in the short term. He said that Holmes could still be in the mix, and Curry does not think that Boone wants to publicly say Clay Holmes lost his job, even temporarily, but expect the Yankees to go with matchups for the foreseeable future, essentially indicating that Clay Holmes' time as the New York Yankees closer is done, especially with him being a free agent this upcoming offseason. Now, on the season, Holmes' numbers don't look atrocious. He pitches at a 3.27 ERA, which is not good at all for a closer. Don't get it twisted. But it's because he pitched really well to start the year. Yes, he's played in 57 games. That's a lot. It might be a bit of an overworking situation, but at this point, Clay Holmes just seemingly can't get anything right. And Clay Holmes actually himself talked about this and said, there's been times when I've thrown well and gotten beat. Obviously, tonight was one of those when I didn't throw very well. I wasn't very good at all and definitely didn't deserve to come out on top the way I was throwing. The execution wasn't there at all. It was pretty poor tonight. Yes, Clay, it was poor tonight. And if a pitcher goes out there and lets off a walk-off grand slam, does it suck? Yes. It doesn't mean that pitcher's a bad pitcher. It doesn't mean they're a bad player at all. It doesn't mean anything except maybe they threw a few bad pitches and had a bad outing. That's understandable. Every closing pitcher gives off walk-offs. It happens. But Clay Holmes, you've blown 11 saves on the season. That's the most of any single team. The New York Yankees are known to have a great history of closers. They have the greatest closer in history, a man who is by far the greatest closer in history, to the point where there's an argument that nobody in baseball history has been better at their role than Mariano Rivera was. Also, Aroldis Chapman had some great years as a Yankees closer, and well before them, there were many other great closers in Yankees history, and now here you are, Clay, and you looked like one of them for a bit of this season. You looked like one of them, and then you didn't. I don't know what happened. I want to say that it was him being overworked. I am not on the Yankees staff. I don't know if Clay Holmes is injured, but I'll tell you one thing. Clay Holmes clearly is not his best self right now. I fully think it's because he was overworked, and now he is still battling back from that. But at the end of the day, this sinker ball stuff is just not working. And when that's not working, when you're a sinker ball pitcher who's a closer, if people are finding out what you're doing and sitting on sinkers until you throw one a little too high, guess what? You are in trouble. The Yankees, if they go into the playoffs with Clay Holmes as their closer, they will not do very well. They'll probably get bounced in the ALDS unless their hitting just carries them, because obviously Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. Juan Soto has been unreal. He wants to have a great playoff so he can get as much money as humanly possible in the offseason, and also because, it's his job. And then obviously Giancarlo Stanton has been on a heater recently. Austin Wells has been great. The Yankees just have good hitting. Obviously, since coming to the team, Chisholm's been a phenomenal hitter. The Yankees' hitting is no longer at all the issue. The problem is their bullpen. Yes, their starters have had their own slew of issues, but it's really their bullpen. It's really the fact that Clay Holmes has been nothing short of atrocious recently, and that's backed up by these numbers. On May 20th, Clay Holmes entered the game with a 0.0 ERA. He proceeded to allow 4 runs, and the Yankees lost the game 5-4. Since that point, Holmes has pitched at a 5.05 ERA, and as mentioned, that's not bad luck. He's just bad. The problem with the fatigue argument that I put out there is the fact that that was on May 20th. That was a long time ago, dude. That was not that far into the season. And yes, Holmes was getting worked in the beginning of the year. He was pitching so much. There was definitely the fear that he might burn out because the Yankees were just going to that Clay Holmes well time and time and time again. But it's now at the point where you just can't even pitch Clay Holmes in the ninth. He was a setup guy for Michael King for a bit. The man has never really been a Yankee closer outside of the past, year and a half? And now he's lost his job because he's never been exceptionally great at it, despite the fact that he's shown at times that he looks like an elite-level closing pitcher. Clay Holmes is one of the most confusing players in baseball right now. It's unclear whether he's in a slump, whether he's tired, whether he's injured, or whether he sucks at baseball. It is very difficult to watch. I can't, when they went out and were playing the Rangers and Clay Holmes went out there, I'm watching the game with my family. My mother said, oh no, we're going to lose. Clay Holmes is pitching. I talk about the Yankees on YouTube, and my mom said, oh yeah, they're done. They're not winning. Clay Holmes sucks. Everyone knows that Clay Holmes is not pitching well, and it is clearly affecting his confidence. And if you're not confident pitching the ball, you're going to get rattled because players will know that, and it'll make them more confident that they are going to rip into you. Clay Holmes cannot continue to be the closer. Part of me wants it to be Tommy Kahnle, despite the fact that I know he's also a breaking ball pitcher, so it could end up being the same thing where hitters just are going to sit on him and wait until there's one hanging breaking ball that they could just rip for 400 feet. That's what happened. That's why Clay Holmes gave up a walk-off grand slam. The Yankees were up 3 runs when Holmes came in the game. They were good. Holmes just needed to not give up a walk-off grand slam, and he gave one up. I don't understand how he keeps doing this. I don't understand how he keeps messing up like this. But if Jack Curry is saying that Boone wants to get a bit interesting with things, if he wants to make some changes, I do not think Clay Holmes is going to be closing out any more games this season. Now, there's a few different guys who could do it. I know a lot of people are fans of Luis Gil coming in and trying to be the closer. I don't know if I love that because I want Gil to be a starting pitcher. I do. I think Gil should be a starting pitcher. I don't know if it makes all the sense in the world to make him do a completely different role and then go back to starting later in the season. Obviously, a much different circumstance. But remember when Jabba Chamberlain's role got switched and then he went from being this phenomenal relief pitcher to some garbage starting pitcher because he just couldn't do it. His role got switched. He forgot how to play baseball. The Yankees put him back in the bullpen, and Chamberlain could no longer pitch the same way. He lost his ability. Now, also getting ripped apart by those bugs, I don't think helped his confidence because obviously that was a massive loss for the Yankees against the Indians and that weird thing with those soldier bugs. But I don't think the Yankees should mess around with Gil's role. Tommy Kahnle seems like a decent option if it wasn't for the fact that you're just going to a different breaking ball guy, which could be concerning. There's a few different guys. Scott Efros recently just got sent back to Scranton AAA, so we're going to see who the Yankees put in that closer. I'm very interested into seeing what they do here. I wouldn't hate the idea of Nestor going in there, from being honest, but Nestor's been too good of a starting pitcher. A few weeks ago, it would have made all the sense in the world, but now Nestor is back doing his thing, and we love that for Nestor because he's the man. Guys, who do you want to be the Yankees closer for the rest of this season while they make the playoff push? Let me know in the comments down below. And the good news is the Chicago White Sox just beat the brakes off the Orioles, which is hilarious for so many reasons and good for the Yankees for so many reasons. Guys, have a great day and go Yankees.